This video is for educational overview only. Viewers are encouraged to study the topic in detail and continue their academic learning alongside this video. Thanks.
Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on every single website you use and look at the invisible skeleton holding it all together. Seriously, have you ever wondered what's really going on behind the screen? It's not magic, but for most people, it's totally invisible. At its core, it's just a simple text file. We're talking about HTML, the foundational language that gives the web its entire structure. So, let's dive right in. All right, first up, the web's invisible skeleton. Let's just establish what HTML actually is and, what it does. Think of it like the blueprint for a house. It's not concerned with the paint color or the furniture. That comes later. It's all about defining the core structure. This is a wall, that's a door, and over here is a window. It's the absolute foundation. So let's look at the anatomy of an HTML page. We're going to break down the basic building blocks of that skeleton. Okay, at the very heart of HTML, you have tags. These are the fundamental instructions, wrapped in these angle brackets. The one you see here, P, is just telling the web browser, hey, what comes next is a paragraph. Now, when you put it all together, you get what's called an element. That's the whole package. You've got your opening tag, the actual content, and then a closing tag. And you can always spot the closing tag because of that little /. Then we have attributes. These are kind of like adjectives. They give more detail about an element. They always go inside the opening tag. So for a link, the href attribute tells the browser where to go when someone clicks it. It's extra information. Now here's a really important rule. You have to close tags in the reverse order that you opened them. See how the B tag is closed before the H1 tag? It's just like a set of Russian nesting dolls. You have to close the innermost one first before you can close the one outside it. And believe it or not, every single web page you visit has these core parts. You've got the DOCTYPE at the top, the main HTML tag that wraps everything, the head, which holds all the behind-the-scenes info, and finally the body, which is where all the visible stuff, text, images, you name it, actually lives. Okay, next section. Why a tag's name matters. So we have all these tags, but does it actually matter which ones we use? Oh yeah, it matters a lot. This whole idea is called Semantic HTML. And really, it's just about choosing the right tool for the right job. You want to use tags that actually describe the content they're holding, and the benefits are huge. For instance, you could build a whole website using nothing but generic div tags. But that's like building a house with identical, unlabeled gray bricks. It's so much better to use specific tags like header, article, or footer. That way, the browser and other developers know exactly what each part is for. And this is why it's so crucial. Using semantic tags makes the web way more accessible for people with disabilities because screen readers can understand the page's structure. It helps search engines figure out what your content is about, which is great for SEO. And honestly, it just makes the code cleaner for other developers to work with. It is a win-win-win. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about the skeleton. Now let's see how that fits into the bigger picture of a full web application. This is where the front end meets the back end. So a modern web app really has two major parts. There's the front end, or client side. That's what you see and interact with in your browser. It's built with HTML, CSS for style, and JavaScript for interactivity. Then there's the back end, or service side. That's all the behind-the-scenes machinery, the servers, the databases, the core logic that makes it all tick. And I absolutely love this analogy. The front-end folks are the interior designers, making everything look good and feel right. The back-end team, they're the construction workers and electricians, making sure the structure is solid and the power is on. And the database is the supplier, providing all the materials. They all have to communicate perfectly. Let's move on to the modern web's superpowers. Because, HTML hasn't just been sitting still all these years. It's evolved and gained some pretty amazing new powers. I mean, it started out as a super simple way to share text documents. But look at it now. With HTML5 and what's called the living standard, it's constantly evolving. It now natively supports the rich multimedia we expect today, like putting video or audio directly on a page without needing some clunky old plugin. But as websites got more complex and started feeling more like apps, we needed more than just structure. That's where JavaScript comes in, to make things interactive. The thing is, for really big projects, just using plain JavaScript can be like building a skyscraper without a blueprint. It gets risky. And that's exactly why tools like TypeScript were created. It's basically a blueprint system for JavaScript. It helps developers catch errors and potential crashes during development instead of after the site is already live with users. It's like JavaScript, but with a helmet on. And that really brings us to today. Most developers don't start from scratch. They use these powerful toolkits or frameworks like Next.js. These things bundle all the pieces together, HTML, JavaScript, backend logic, the whole shebang, into one toolkit for building incredible apps. In fact, even the official React documentation now recommends developers use a framework like Next.js.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Understanding HTML structure isn't just some technical thing for developers. It's about creating a better, more inclusive web for everybody. Every time someone uses the right semantic tag, the web gets a little bit more accessible.
From a simple text document all the way to the foundation for AI-driven applications, HTML continues to be the bedrock of our entire digital world. The skeleton is always evolving, and it really makes you wonder, what will we be able to build with it next?